Now we're speaking with Andrew Love.
Hi, Frank.
Okay. And Andrew, how long have you had your power cranks?
About 2 years now.
And tell us what your first ride was like.
Well, I'd read all the literature and all the stuff on the Power Cranks website, and very quickly I said, oh, I need a pair of these. At the time, I had been bike racing for 12 years, and my first ride was 4 miles on the flat in a city. So I'm stopping, starting, and I was done. I was wasted. My hip flexors were screaming. I couldn't believe it. It was the huge ego killer.
So we do good ego adjustments.
Yeah. It actually, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was learning a whole new set of muscles. And, as a skater, I have really well-developed hip flexors, and I grew up playing hockey. So I've been using these muscles my whole life, but Power Cranks really nailed them.
Right. And so your adaptation went from first ride of what you said, 4 miles, to in a month. What could you do in a month?
I was doing 20 and 30 milers in a month. As a speed skater and as a sprint speed skater, I don't do the kind of training that a triathlete does. I'm a dragster, so I don't ever ride more than 2-3 hours a shot.
Right.
And only that in our very early season. I do a lot of short stuff.
Now, and you're a sprinter in
Yes.
speed skating, right? So you're really a power, high turnover.
Yes,
right?
yeah, I'm a power snap athlete, and even more, I'm a 500-meter specialist. Even I have a decent 1,000, but my 500 is the only thing I can claim to be.
Can you tell us how you think the power cranks are useful for your speed skating training, or any skater, perhaps, hockey players? etc.?
Right, power cranks hit the hip flexors and the hamstrings in an incredibly specific fashion. And in the early season, the preparatory cycles, there is no better way to get those skating muscles in shape. Especially if you think of like a hockey player, and I grew up playing hockey, as like a runner who competes in very, very heavy shoes. And when your skate leaves the ice, what muscles do you use to pick that skate up and drive it forward? And the more strongly you drive the skate forward, the more strongly the other skate pushes out. And since power cranks hit the hamstrings and the hip flexors tremendously well, it's essential for the skating stroke. There have been studies done on injuries in hockey players and hip flexor strength, and there's a direct correlation. There's many studies done by powerlifters about the stronger your hamstrings are, the more efficiently you can utilize your quads, and your quads are what really power you. So if you balance your hamstring strength with your quad strength, you'll be less injured and able to use them more, and most importantly, for the very technical sport of speed skating, you can hold your technique when that lactic acid is shutting down your vision.
How long did it take before you started to feel some improvement in your skating? Or were you in the off-season skating?
I was in the off-season. I was actually very smart, and I started using these in April. And speed skaters, our off-season, our beginning preparatory season is April through like August, and we start racing October on. I felt improvements in my running, and I do a lot of running sprints, in about 2 weeks. And after about 6 weeks, I took my power cranks off and put my regular cranks back on my bike, and oh my God, I was dramatically faster. And now I know that my opening 100-meter for a sprint race, I had been doing in 10.8, 10.7, and the next season I was consistently doing 10.3s. And that was foot speed. I mean, for speed skating, the first 50, 100 meters off the line, foot speed is dramatically important. The rest of it is technique.
So we took about a half a second off your 500-meter time?
Off my opening 100 split for a 500 race. Yeah, and that was pretty much right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so since you've been on the power cranks now, how much have you improved overall? How would you get some numbers you can find?
Yeah, my 500 personal best, I dropped more than a second, about 1.3 seconds in 1 year, and this is my second year on them, and I'm on track to do that about the same.
So
and
another second the second year.
Yeah, and I will at my top speed on my skates, I'm going close to 36, 37 miles an hour.
Now, we can't take all the credit because you're improving your technique too.
Right. Speed skating, like a lot of sports, you have to do a whole bunch of things really well that add up to a good performance. Speed skaters have been cross training since the 1880s because there's no ice in the summer. So we've been running and biking and lifting forever. And power cranks are an absolutely essential thing to add to the biking part of your training. And in the off season, I use them a lot. I blend them into my training, and also it's nice when you go out for big group rides, you take the power cranks off, put the fixed on, and just blow away your friends. It's nice. I wish I was bike racing still. I'm faster on the bike than I've ever been.
So we've gotten you from the point of being an elite master skater to now you're going to go, hopefully going to make the Olympic trials, right?
I've already qualified for the Olympic trials.
Okay.
My question now is, where do I finish? There's about 75 guys in the U.S. that full-time are just have thrown everything into this, and I'd like to finish top 10 in the 500. I believe that is a reasonable goal. In my best race last year, I was 12th, and I think I can knock a few places off this year. I've competed at nationals for 2 years now, and this upcoming year nationals will be Olympic trials, and that's my goal. Going to the Olympics would be great, but really, it's me versus myself. I'm a sport like swimming or track and field, that it's you versus yourself and your own lane and your technique and your pain tolerance, and you get the stopwatch to tell you at the end of the day how well you did. I don't care if I'm last at Olympic trials as long as I go personal best. I really don't care. So.
Well, you do care, really.
Well, winning is nice, but for speed skating, especially because when I go to regional competitions and I place first or second, I've had races I've won that I've been pissed off as hell because I've done really ugly races.
I guess if you do personal best in the Olympic trials and you come in last, that means everybody else had a fantastic.
Everyone else had a fantastic race. I think I'm on track to finish around 10th. We'll see. I mean, the U.S. is the strongest sprint nation in the world. I could probably go to the Olympics from any other countries, but I'm American. And I'm happy with that. People jokingly tell me I should suddenly find citizenship in Italy or Germany, or people talk about that, but nah, I open my mouth, you can tell I'm American.
Okay, well, any other words of wisdom for the masses or the hockey players?
I wish I had these playing hockey, because I grew up playing hockey. Hockey, you have two speeds. Accelerating and stopping to turn around and accelerate the other direction. And what power cranks really excel at is getting your foot turnover to be faster. And also, power cranks, unlike a normal bicycle crank where you push and then you rest, push, rest, push, rest, power cranks you're really pulling in 360. So the thing about power cranks is you're developing, and this is my theory, lactic acid in a 360-degree radius. So what happens is that when you get on your skates, and you do have a push-rest cycle, since you're used to doing it in a 360-degree radius, it's easier. And so you're stronger in the third period. And because hockey, how many hundreds of accels do you do in a hockey game? Just over and over. Accel, stop, accel, stop, accel, stop. You're fresher, you're better, you're quicker.
You recover faster with the better blood flow.
Absolutely. And as I said, it's fun. They are the huge ego killers to begin with, but they're entirely worth it.
First you swear at them, then you swear by them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Okay, thank you.